Hello and good evening, and welcome to the Stardust Theater for Showtime. The guest entertainer that you will now be watching tonight is...
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Call Time a Theatrepod. My name is Marisa Helene Mast, and this is the space where we talk about it all because every role in theater matters, and this is the space where we laugh, learn, and sometimes call out the chaos. So sign in on the sheet, because it's call time! Alright, so my guest today is a person who I hold near and dear to my heart, and they are working their butt off for every single reason in this world. You love them, I love them. My guest is Jo! Hi, Jo.
Huh?
How you doing?
I'm good. We're thriving, surviving, and just living our life.
Amen to that. I'm happy to hear that. So, Jo, here is a little taste, a little look-see into what's going to be happening on today's show. The seawater thrown in your face, the thrill of metal banging together, that is hardcore.
We want the 80s. We want Donna Summers. We want Tina Turner.
It says cocaine and the flu.
That's crazy.
Wasn't that great?
It was the best.
The absolute best.
Absolutely the best.
Oh my god. I just want to say, one of the things I like about our friendship is kind of like how you're so cool and chill and I'm not. And I'm just like,
that's so crazy, because this is like not the first time I've heard that. Everyone's like, Jo, you're so chill, you're so this, but like I feel like I'm so chaotic, but maybe it's just like a mental thing that I'm always just like, it's just bees. It's just bees in my head constantly. And I guess like I'm just like,
you just hold yourself so calm, cool, and collected. I have seen you in chaos mode though. I have seen that firsthand, so I like know what that's like, but right now you're just like, yeah.
it's unfortunate that you've seen that. I'm so sorry for you.
You know what? I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. So, Jo, I got a question for you. In my heart of hearts, I truly, truly believe that there is good theater cringe and bad theater cringe, and I would love to know what you would put in each of those categories.
I'm gonna start with the bad.
Ooh, that's how it always starts.
Just because, like, it's getting out of hand. And I think there needs to be an end to it, and I feel like this is just like, it might just be my own personal opinion.
That's what this is?
But, and I'm probably gonna get hate for it, but I really don't care. Honestly, like, I don't think everything needs to be a movie. I don't think everything needs a live action. I think leave it where it is, how it was made, and just stop. Just stop trying to, like, because I feel like people are trying to make it better, and it's just like, it's just not working, and it just turns out to be absolute trash.
Yeah. You know what? Here's the thing. I agree with you. I think I would know a couple people that would agree with you. You know, to date this episode, you know, everything happening with the Lilo and Stitch live action. Why remove the drag element? Why remove the actual wit from the script and some of the really quirky things? Like, does it look cute? Yeah, but like, was it necessary? No.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about Lilo and Stitch. I was like mainly thinking about How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, I didn't. Wait, we're getting a new.
No, it's already made. They already made it.
What?
I think they already made it.
Where am I?
Listen. Unfortunately, you're with the live action. Like, that's where, like, everything is live action now.
Wow.
And I just think it's ruining everything. Like, great, I understand that as an entertainment, like, industry, like, people need to make money. Like, cool, the ideas are great. But I just don't necessarily think that everything needs to be live action. Because then it's just like, for animation, like, that is where it should stay, because that's where people imagine everything. Do you know?
Yeah.
And then, like, once you get into, like, the CGI, it's just like, that's fake.
Yeah.
It's fake. Like, I can draw anything. People can put that on, but then, like, once it starts getting into live action, it just, like, it turn off. I don't even want to go see it. As soon as I see the commercial, change channel.
Yeah, I'm starting to get like that too. I mean, like, I'm a huge animation fan. always have been, always will be, and there are things where I'm like, all right, I mean, sure, or how about we just rescreen or do specialty screenings of the old stuff? That way we can reintroduce it that way. That works too.
Yeah, of
Uh,
course. You
yeah.
want to know what like has never been a live action, which I hope they never do, so I hope no one steals this idea. Studio Ghibli. None of that.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that. Not that they're going to be a live action film, but they are actually adapting more Studio Ghibli films into stage adaptations.
But like that's
That's
fine.
that's completely different. But like live
Like
action film, I don't think they could ever get away with because there's too high stakes here. You know,
but that's what
Hayao
I'm
will
saying.
completely murder them.
Whoa!
As peaceful as he is, he'll do it. So, what is your good theater cringe though?
I was gonna say you already mentioned it, like stage adaptations,
Yeah, awesome.
like
Like which ones?
or like you know what stage adaptations or like a good revamp. We love a good revamp. Like
Mm-hmm.
they took Phantom off and then they put it back on.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Good
Phantom
for
was
you,
very,
Andrew.
Phantom needs to stay on.
Really? Actually, you're the first person I know to say that.
Phantom was I might just be biased because it was the first Broadway musical I saw.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. I love
Not
that.
that
We
I'm a
love.
Broadway goer. I think I've seen like four, maybe three,
That's
but it was the
fine.
first Broadway show. I think that was like one of like to be honest, I saw the movie first, then I saw and then like my brain was like I like the movie soundtrack better.
And I actually think the return, as Norma Desmond would say, the return of Phantom is so interesting. There's so much mystique and intrigue about it. Are you gonna go?
I might
I think you
just to
should.
like relive me being like a good 7-year-old, just being
Yeah. And apparently now that it's like this immersive experience, you get to be a part of it.
good. That's what I want.
That's what
That's what I want.
I too want to be kidnapped by Gerard Butler.
I mean, I don't.
Our topic today is something that I know maybe vicariously or just mostly misconceptions about, and that is cruise ship theater. And you know quite a bit about this because this has kind of been your life for a long time now, or at least a good bit.
Yeah, like a good 3 or 4 years.
Wild. And so, before we even get into your journey about that, I wanted your opinion on a few things that I found. There are some cruise lines that are definitely going to be focusing more on in house style entertainment rather than bringing in other IPs like, shortened Broadway shows and doing more like hits of the 80s set to like a little storyline or like things that are a bit more generalized. And I wanted to ask you, do you think with that, and we're not talking like Disney cruise lines, because obviously Disney is going to do Disney.
Hmm.
That's their MO for entertainment. But with these other cruise lines, do you think that the focus of the entertainment should be more general or provide variety and culture to those who may not have ever seen a Broadway show or may not really ever get that opportunity?
I mean, I think that depends on the cruiser,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
So it really depends. So when I have to think about this, I have to put myself in the position of a guest and what I want out of my cruise. Um, I do think, if we look at the age as to which, most people are cruising at, which is probably in, I want to say, our like 70 to 50 range.
Mm-hmm.
Because those are majority of the cruisers that we do get. We do get a bunch of younger cruisers as well. But majority of them are in that older range. So from going to like a little general, like I don't see anything wrong with that, and I think that's a really good direction to go in because majority of the time it's like, you know, we'll have like a band or something play like Watermelon Sugar High, and everyone's like, we want the 80s, we want Donna Summers, we
Yeah.
want Tina Turner, like
They want to dance to the
they want
stuff
it.
that's
Come
like,
on, Whitney
yeah.
Houston, like let's go, like stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So Like for some cruise lines to go that way, great. I think that's pretty good. And I also think it's probably good for the performers as well, just because it's kind of like, you know, granted, no one needs to be equity to be on a cruise ship, but I'm not entirely sure what those contracts look like for Broadway type of shows. I think that
Okay.
they would want to hire specifically equity actors, um, because equity. But
That's a whole other conversation.
that's a whole other conversation. Um, but that might open more doors for other performers as well.
Yeah, you're right. It really does depend on the cruiser because even like I said, there's Disney cruise lines that will do, all their entertainment. It has to be Disney. It has to be these big shows. I mean, I think I saw pictures from their new staged version of Moana on stage, and that looks incredible. But like, whoa, I don't think you're going to see that anywhere else unless they decide to take that stage adaptation to like touring outside of a boat. You know, yeah, and I guess it also just takes a little bit of the pressure off to be like, you know what, we're just here to have a good time. We're gonna entertain you. You don't have
Yeah,
to.
of course. And I also think it also like going away from like the Broadway type of stuff, it's kind of just like if I see something that's like so and so show as seen on Broadway and then I go in and it's like subpar. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yes.
Because it's like when you're on a cruise ship, it's kind of just like the theater is the theater. Like you have what you have and that's it. It's like, you go to a Broadway show and things are like flying everywhere, but da da da. Sometimes you don't have.
Yeah. No, I was literally about to ask you, like, what do you think the expectation of cruise lines and travelers when they want to be entertained?
That's a difficult question. That's a really difficult question.
Fair.
Because from someone who works on cruise lines, at least like from what has been passed on to me and what's been ingrained in me, and then like what I have, um, told myself and what I've been trained is to always make sure that the entertainment is top quality, no matter what it is, regardless if it's Broadway, regardless if it's this or it's that. So to me, any show that you walk into a theater, it should be top quality. But I mean, it really just depends on the cruise line and what technical aspects they have. Do you know? Because you can go into like a like a comedy show, and it's literally just a man on a microphone with a stool, no spots, and he's just making the crowd laugh. So it really just depends on the mindset and like what you're going in for.
So now this is the part of the show where we would normally have an ad read, but I don't have those yet, so we're just gonna sit here and look at the camera. All right, and welcome back. We are here at Call Time a Theater Pod with Jo, and we're talking cruise ship theater. Now, Jo, I really would love to know, like, how did you? I don't want to sound weird when I say this, but like, how'd you end up on a boat? How'd you
This
end up in this job in this journey?
Okay, so this goes all the way back to college.
All right.
Back in the day, no.
Uh,
So one of the stage management classes that I had, one of the stage management professors was like, "Oh, I used to work on cruise ships," and I was like, "Right, I forgot those exist.
that's a job.
That's a job." So I didn't really think much about it. I want to say that that class was probably around sophomore year. I didn't really think much about it. Junior year, nothing. Senior year, I started feeling a little bit more pressure to find a job.
Of
And
course.
then I just applied to a cruise line as like a tee hee ha ha, not gonna get it, and then I got hired.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. That's wild.
yeah, it was just really like a tee hee, and then I got hired.
Oops.
Yeah,
Good thing you actually wanted to do it.
yeah, of course. I mean, I think it was the drive of just wanting a job and to, get out of New Jersey.
Yeah. And look at us now. We're still doing our best and we're still growing and thriving. And I love that for us. Going back to your job on cruise lines though, could you describe like what your working week normally looks like and does that vary depending on the show or the travel timeline?
It does depend on the travel timeline, just because the cruises could either be 3, 4, 7, 10, 12, 14. So each day could be like usually a 7 day cruise. Like if you're gonna do 7 day cruises for like, let's just say like 4 months out of your contract, because
Mm-hmm.
normally a contract is 6 months on board,
Mm-hmm.
it'll kind of just be like copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Like once you find a schedule that works well with your entertainment department, copy paste. Um, but
Okay.
like yeah. So normally what happens on board is you have embark day. Depending on if the cruise line has guest entertainers or not, um, they will sign on embark day. So then I would meet with them, go over their tech needs and requirements, and give it to my technicians on board. Have a show that night, and then pretty much every night there's a show in the theater. So I would be there every single night. But normally there's a 90-minute tech before the show happens, and then we do the show 2 times at night. And then in between, there's going to be a crew drill, there's a cabin inspection, there's a grid meeting to talk about the next cruise. There's safety trainings that I might have to go to, that crew members have to go to, you know. Um, Depending on like what rotation you're on, you might have to like, check the food in the crew mess, to make sure it's up to par, ask crew members what they want to eat or what they like to eat or what's good, stuff like that. A lot of reports, sending emails, calling shows, stage management.
Does your job ever leave the boat?
For the rehearsal process, I'm on land.
Okay.
So I would have to do a pre-pro, and then there's a rehearsal process, which is like a month. So like I think the pre-pro is like a week, and then the rehearsal process is a month, and then I get on board.
Okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah.
Because I was gonna say I figured you would get off the boat not just for sure leave and travel, but like I figured you'd also have to like do something on land to help prepare for this.
Yeah, I mean, you can or you cannot, depending. Sometimes, depending on the cruise line, they might just send you straight to the ship. Sometimes they do that, or sometimes if they really, need help on land, they'll send you to the rehearsal facility. But it really just depends on the cruise lines.
Is there anything that surprised you while working that people may not, think of or be aware of?
Yeah, I'm just saying this is going to surprise anybody because it surprised my dad. Um, as an American on board a cruise ship, we are the minority.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I was on one
Huh.
ship and there was only 4 of us. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was like honestly like culture shock. It was great. It was honestly so great.
Ah, wow. Cause like where have you traveled to with your cruises?
Asia, um, Canada, Europe, the Baltic.
You must have seen like some really cool things, like just not even just getting off the boat, but like just looking out whenever. I'm assuming you got to see light of day, and you didn't just have to
Yeah,
stay in the theater all the time.
I mean, there are some days where I didn't leave the theater, and that's just me being a workaholic. But there were obviously I did get off the boat. Don't worry. Um,
Listen, we're indoor kids. That's why I asked specifically. Like,
I mean, listen. Sometimes, like for tech weeks, it's kind of just like that was my favorite thing about college. It was kind of just like, what time is it? Are you sure it's 2 p.m.? It feels like it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
yeah.
It's the same thing on board, but because sometimes you have to walk from one place to another. So it was nice to see daylight. But yeah, I did get to go out, so it was nice.
Cool. And I'm assuming your schedule was different than the performer's schedule by
Yeah.
far.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, the performers, they have a pretty good life on board, I will say. Pretty easy. No, depending on what your track is. So there's a dancer track, a singer dancer track, and then there's a singer track.
Okay.
So if you're a dancer, sometimes you might have extra duties. Sometimes you might not, depending on your cruise line. Same thing for the singers. You might have crew staff duties that you have to do, which is
Like what?
in terms of like crew staff duties, it's like assisting the cruise director with like other activities. So like ping pong ball tournaments, holding a dance class, playing charades, holding bingo.
I love the Love Boat. I love the Love Boat.
Really, that's crazy. That's normally everyone's just like, oh my gosh, below deck. Below deck. I love below deck. And I'm just like, yeah, below deck.
Is there a show that you particularly like really liked being a part of that you wish was like either extended or just happened you were able to do more or less?
So there was this show that I really loved, that got taken off of one of the ships I was on. It was a really good aerial show. It was my favorite. It was my favorite, my favorite, my favorite. And it actually, like, I took that specific contract to challenge my show calling. Yeah, because you're talking for like 45 minutes straight. Like, no one else can talk on comms. And if there's like an emergency, it's kind of just like, can this be fixed? Or if it can't, you have to figure it out backstage.
Wow,
Like
because it's
not
like
like
Q Q
that,
Q Q
like not
Q.
like that, but it's kind of just like if there's other talking on stage or on comms, I should say, it's kind of just like a cue might not be fired and people are just chilling in the air.
That makes a lot of sense. So speaking of if there's like an emergency or so, so how did you learn how to handle issues like you guys are on a boat. There's seasickness. There's sickness in general. Any problems with the boat, or like, I'm assuming you had training for worst case scenarios.
Um, yes and no. It's kind of like one of those things that you kind of just there's theater etiquette that you kind of just know, and then there's kind of
Mm-hmm.
things that you have to make the mistake in order to know,
Ooh, like
to move
what?
forward, right? So it's kind of just like in normal theater. Oh my gosh, her headset went out. Give her a hand. And then there's stuff where it's kind of just like, oh, these people are stuck in the air, and if the system's broken, I can't bring them down. Oh, and if I bring them down now, they're gonna hit people below them. Oh no, I missed a cue. Can I jump to another one? Will it like stuff like that that you kind of have to
Mm,
really like figure out and know the show's like fully in and out. Because like at the end of the day, it's kind of just like backstage is not going to take a cue unless you tell them to. And sometimes it's kind of just
mm,
like while you're freaking out, they're also freaking out. And
right.
because they're freaking out, like they don't know like what to do. And even though you're telling them, they still won't do it. You know?
Yeah.
One of the difficult things is that, you know, when on a ship, when you're put in a very like stressful situation, like I'll just use like a show stop for an example for the theater. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not dealing with people who speak English like as their first language. It's their second language.
Mm,
So
okay.
as soon as they start panicking, they go straight into their native tongue. So it's kind of just like I don't have time to like freak out and panic because
Mm-hmm.
one, they're not going to understand what I'm saying because I'm freaking out and panicking. I kind of just have to like take a second and just be like, just do this. Like I have to speak very calm and like very slow in order for them to register what's happening.
Again, the calm, cool, collected vibe that you somehow bring it just comes naturally to you because you're thinking to yourself, well, somebody's got to be calm here. It might as well be me.
Well, it's kind of just like people are going to me as if I have all the answers. Sometimes
Sounds
I
like a
do,
stage manager.
and sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it. And if it's a wrong decision, it's a wrong decision, and everybody can be mad at me, or they can be mad at you as a stage manager. But at the end of the day, like they're not in your position. They don't know
Yeah.
what's going on in the booth. The performers only know what they think it looks like from their perspective on stage. So it's kind of just like everything's gonna be fine, everything's gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And majority of the time, um, that I've had to show stop on a ship, the guests are like, "What? What show stop?" Like they don't
I don't
they
know.
don't they're here for goof gaffs and laughs. Like they're just here to enjoy quality entertainment. Like it's
Yeah.
nobody knows.
This is maybe just me because I'm this kind of audience member because I'm like, oh, I know inside baseball because I'm the kind of person who like whenever I would go out with my parents to theater and we were seated behind the booth or like the booth was near us, we'd be like, "Ooh, we're sitting near the booth. We know what's gonna happen." Because we're also nerds like that. Because my dad's a techie too. I'm assuming there's also protocol and training for like if there's like heavy rocking on the boat per se. You're having a bit of a stormy night, or it's just a bit of heavy waves. Is there like an adjustment that the show would make, or is there like in the event of if you're suddenly really slanted, hold for a moment and then go? Like I know that might sound like a silly question, but I'm just curious.
It really depends, right? So there's a lot of communication that goes into it. So it's kind of like normally on cruise ships you have you have a show captain. Some ships have dance captain, aerial captain, vocal captain. So okay. Normally what we would do on board is we would talk to all of them. And then sometimes if the band is involved in that specific show, you would also loop in either the band leader or the band master, depending. Then you have that conversation. Majority of the time, you have a tech in the morning of the rocky day. So it will give the cast and the band a gauge as to how it's going to be. They will already need to know if they need to modify anything, right? So sometimes like a rule of thumb is that I always tell my cast is, if you're going to do it for safety, do it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, boo-hoo you for someone putting on their flats, because if I have my heels on, I'm going to roll an ankle. Save your ankle. Save your ankle.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? Save your ankle.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, if a singer is like, it's really hard for me to bell because of the rocking, do what you got to do. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Do you.
That's so refreshing.
Do you, and then I'll do me. Because sometimes I have to call my cues a different way, because if they're going to modify, then I have to pay attention, right?
Yeah.
So it's like they know what they're doing to keep them safe. I kind of have to watch to make sure I call the cues correctly as well. But if it's like super, 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 super bad, normally what we do is we monitor with the bridge. We'll call the bridge and we'll ask them about the swelling, which is the wave movement, for those who don't know. So if it's kind of like if we do a tech in the afternoon and it's going to stay like that, then they can kind of get a gauge as to, okay, this is how it's going to be. We just did a tech, we can do the show. But if it were to get worse, then that's where that other conversation happens, and I need to inform the cruise director to notify a show swap. But normally, majority of the time, the guests are pretty okay with, if you say for the safety of the performers. Because majority of the time, like when it's super, super rocky, sometimes they can't really walk straight. So if you as a guest can't walk straight, how are you going to expect performers to dance for 45 minutes? Depending on where the theater is, normally it's at normally the theater's forward of the ship, which is the bow, which is the bow, which is very forward. Super rocky. Super, super, super rocky over there. So it's kind of just like, why would we hinder something that could, for the utmost quality, for something that's going to be here, right? If the quality, what I'm trying to aim for is here, and then I have to modify it because you want to see a show so bad on the night that it's rocky, I'd rather just move it a day and save my performers. It's not worth it to me, and it's also not worth me sitting in the booth like seasick, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I have no problem calling a comedian to go on.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, like, wow, who'd have thunk that the success of a really good quality show would be safety and communication?
Listen, sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes it doesn't happen.
But at least that seems to be the goal, is having that communication.
Yeah, of course. I mean, sometimes you have you'll have sometimes you'll have inexperienced captains. Sometimes they don't necessarily know, like, oh, I'm in a new role and I need to speak up for people. So normally I just like to overly communicate and be like, how is it now? Is this good for you? Because to me, I'm just standing in a booth calling cues, right? I'm not on stage dancing. So it's like, who am I to say, this is fine? It's not.
Right.
That's not my call, realistically speaking. Sometimes, like, I do have to push them a little bit to be like, guys, let's just try it. No one's gonna fault you for trying.
Right.
So even if we make it halfway through, we know now that this type of weather, this specific swell, does not fit us. So therefore we know later on. Like that's all I asked for. That's all I asked for. Do you know?
I say I would have never thought about this, but like I really don't think that a lot of land performers don't necessarily think about these kinds of things. And that's really really interesting. And I think a lot of people could take note on that kind of collaboration and communication.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also
But that's just
yeah,
me.
it's the same with the musicians as well. Like, some of them are like, if I don't feel good, I'm walking off. I'm like, okay, I'll put on the sick track for you. Don't worry, I'll bump you up. It is what it is. Like, it's kind of just like like everyone knows that when they sign a cruise ship contract, you're gonna be at sea. It's gonna be rocky. So it's kind of just like, at what point the gauge is like, am I putting myself at risk or not?
That's true.
And that's where you kind of like figure it out through those texts, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But normally there are contingencies, but majority of the time it's really up to me and the captains, right? Because you're always going to have those performances be like, I don't feel comfortable, I don't feel comfortable, I don't feel comfortable. But you need to break through that just to get the gauge. Because even like when I first got on board, super seasick, it took me probably like three months to get my sea legs.
Wow.
And it was kind of just like, I'm like calling shows and I'm like gripping the booth because I'm scared, right? I've actually never spoken about this.
Ooh.
I would like
an exclusive, everybody. An exclusive.
I've never told anybody. I would literally like grab the booth, my desk, and just grab it because it was kind of just like, just the movement of going like this and like this would freak me out.
Yeah.
It still freaks me out. But then it helped me, like calling shows like helped me get into like a zone where it's kind of just like I just block it out. So I try to like focus on like something else other than the rocking. But when I first started, honestly, like I can tell you my heart rate was probably 180. Because it was like, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? And like another thing, so how like in regular theater you have battens that are on, an arbor system and everything like that, and they swing back and forth. Mm-hmm. On a ship we have automated rails. So it literally, when the theater is like, there's no guest in it and there's no music playing or anything like that, and the theater is just like, the main curtain's open, it's literally metal slamming into metal.
Oh,
yeah.
My God.
So, like, the performers are also performing, listening to the music, and sometimes, like, they can hear it over the music.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Jarring.
It's so crazy, and it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. It's like the thrill. It's like the thrill to be alive over it.
Seawater thrown in your face, the thrill of metal banging together, that is hardcore.
It's
hardcore.
It's as hardcore as it's gonna get.
Alright, now we're gonna come to everyone's favorite part of the show, and by everyone, I mean me. We're doing the Green Room Games! Royalty-free Green Room Games. I don't have a jingle for that yet.
It was good. It was good. Patent it, trademark it. Yeah.
Oh, Pat boy.
Yeah, please. No.
So today's game, we're going to be doing Scene Stealer, which is where you get to self-insert into the show of your choice, and we get to figure out how your presence changes the plot and affects everything. Jo, what show have you chosen?
I've chosen The Great Gatsby.
Ooh, a modern one. I love it. So, you're plopped into The Great Gatsby. Now, first thing I have to ask you, though, is, are you dressed to period, or are you dressed as you would normally now?
No, I'm fully immersed in the period.
Okay, we love a chameleon.
Yeah, of course. Let's go. Okay, so, I am also friends with Nick and Daisy.
Ooh.
Yeah. We're friends. And then I'm also friends with whoever Daisy's friend is. Irrelevant. I don't care about her.
You don't care about Jordan?
I don't care about Jordan. Her and Nick can do whatever. I go do whatever. Leave me alone.
Oh my god, okay.
Then all of a sudden, we all know Daisy's husband. We don't care about him either. He's annoying. Scum. He's a scum. So, because we all know this, and because I don't like Daisy, just for some reason, because I also knew Gatsby when she knew Gatsby, and she took him from me, I am back.
Oh my god.
I am back for my revenge. I am back for my revenge. So basically, boom. Gatsby finds out Nick, Daisy, whatever. I intervene. I'm there as well. I'm with Jordan and Nick. Boom. We're all there together. Then he looks at me, falls in love with me. Doesn't want Daisy anymore.
And he gives you all the silk shirts.
All the silk shirts. You know, the green light. What green light?
It's yours.
It's red for our hearts together because we just love each other so much.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
That's absolutely. You know what? I'd believe this. I'd absolutely believe this.
And to be honest, though, like, nobody dies. Everyone gets a happy ever after. To be honest, Gatsby deserved better. Daisy can be with her husband who doesn't even like her. Whatever. No, truly, truly. I'm fully going off of I can't even remember what the book states. I'm sure the book goes into more detail. I am an F. Scott fan, but I will say that from the Broadway adaptation that they made, Daisy sucks.
Ooh.
Daisy sucks.
Okay.
Daisy literally sucks.
And this is going by the regular Broadway version, not Florence and the Machine, not that version.
What? There's a multiple version.
Oh, you don't know. Oh my gosh. Okay,
the one
so
with Diggy from Liv and Maddie, Ryan McCartan.
Yeah. I love how that's your reference for him. And I'm like, oh yeah, from Heathers.
I love Ryan McCartan. For some odd reason, I don't know why. I just like. You want to know why? I think it was because when I was also obsessed with Heathers, he was JD in Heathers when it was off Broadway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but there's another version of The Great Gatsby currently in development. It was over at ART, and it was done by Florence of Florence and the Machines, and I almost just called her Florence Henderson. Oh my god, that is not the same person.
I was like, is that her last name?
No, it's the woman from the Brady Bunch.
That's insane. That's literally insane. Not the Brady Bunch.
No, but there's another version of The Great Gatsby that's done completely different than the Broadway version. It's like competing Gatsbys. It's like, are you familiar with The Wild Party?
Are you asking me? No,
Yes.
I'm not. Sorry. I thought that was a name of something. Sorry. No.
No. The Wild Party is also. There was two different versions of the musical. People have very hot takes about which one they prefer, but like now it's coming back with The Great Gatsby. It's very interesting, at least to me. You might find it absolutely nothing, but the more you know. But yeah, okay. So, Joe, I consider that scene stolen very, very much in The Great Gatsby.
Yeah, I mean, Gatsby wants to spend his money on somebody. I will gladly take the money, and I will love him unconditionally.
Because that's what he deserves.
Homie went to war.
Homie went to war.
He just wants to come home to some sourdough bread. I could make that. Easy.
Listen, we lived through. I was gonna say we lived through the pandemic. We all know how to make bread, right? Like.
But yeah, everyone knows how to make bread, but do they know how to make sourdough bread?
Now I really want bread. Now we're at the part where we're gonna do talkback time, which is where you, the audience, respond to the questions that we put out on social media. Thank you to everybody that has participated. And Joe, we got a question and we got some answers. Are you ready? I posed the question: what do you think life is like on a cruise ship? And I got a few answers that I would love your response to. The first response I have here is, everything's the same as being on land, but you're on a boat.
No.
No?
No. I absolutely not.
Fair enough. Another response I have here is lots of excuses for being seasick.
No.
No.
Like, I can say I'm seasick, but I still have to show up to work.
I was like, it's not like you can really go home. You're kind of there.
I mean, I can go to my cabin.
Is there a rule where, like, unless you literally upchuck, you have to come in? I'm assuming there are levels to this.
For seasickness, you just go to medical, and then they'll give you, like, a really, like, I've never gone to medical for being seasick. I just usually take my own seasick pills, but normally they do whatever medical does, and then people are usually fine after they come out. So they do.
They are actually just replaced by a
yeah.
clone.
So it's like medical is what they do, and then that's it, and then they come back to work. But like, you know, it's kind of just like everyone goes through seasickness at some point, and it's kind of just like you kind of have to endure it a little bit in order to get your sea legs.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Do you also? Because I know whenever I would go out on a boat, I'd also have like those sea bands where like they have the thing that presses into your pulse. Is that a myth? Was I scammed, or is that actually?
I have no idea. I just take seasick pills. Really.
That's probably better, honestly.
I don't know. I take a seasick pill, and then I just like if I'm in the theater and it's like super rocky, I just lay on the floor.
You know what? We love floor time. I can understand that.
Sometimes you need to be one with the floor.
Blessica.
Blessica! I love that in a minute.
Another one I have here is rehearsal, break for food. Rehearsal, break for food. Show, sleep, repeat.
That's a pretty accurate representation of our tech weeks when we're installing a new cast.
And the last one I have here, it just says cocaine and the flu.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know. The flu? Yeah.
That's all it says. It says cocaine and the flu. That sounds like a band name to me. You just did your show announcement, like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, cocaine and the flu.
Like, the thing is that when you're on board, you get drug tested for everything. Okay. Everything. And you also get alcohol tested as well. So there's a random drug and alcohol test that happens monthly. So if you do get caught, like, you're immediately debarked. Bye-bye.
Wow.
Yeah, they take it very seriously because we're in international...
I would hope so.
You're in international waters. They take it very seriously. And also, as crew members, we have safety duties. So our safety duty always comes first. Right? So if there's, like, a general emergency alarm, let's just say, like, 3 o'clock in the morning, and, like, someone was at crew bar and they're super drunk, it's a problem. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, we're there to do a job. So it's kind of just, like, what do you care about more? Having a good time? Or, like, that's where you have to, like, figure it out. Like, I love having a good time. But I also worked very hard to get where I needed to be and where I wanted to be. So I'm not going to have, like, a case of, like, Angry Orchard to ruin that.
And I can really appreciate that.
It's like stuff like that. But also, to answer the flu part, the flu does happen, and it spreads like wildfire.
Whew.
Yeah, it's like as soon as like someone, and majority of the time it's like it's not the crew members. It's literally not the crew members. It's the passengers. Like they get it and then they bring it on and then it like lingers.
That must be messy.
It gets like annoying because then sometimes if like the cases get really bad, we're not allowed in guest area.
Yikes. Thank you to everybody who sent in your responses. Jo, we are coming to the end of this, which is so wild because time is literally a social construct and it is flying. So I want to give you a moment to speak your piece. What's coming up for you? Anything you want to say to the people?
Yourself, do what you gotta do, make yourself happy, live your life the way that you want to, don't listen to anybody, and then if someone wants to challenge you, prove them wrong. Prove them wrong, and just be like, tee-hee, and that's it.
Tee-hee, Blessica. Beautiful. I love that. Thank you so much, Jo, for being my guest today. It was awesome to have you, and I learned so much about cruise ship theater. Gorge. You're gorge. And here we are. And this has been Call Time, a Theater Pod. Thank you so much for signing in. My name is Marisa Helene Mast. You're the audience. Bye-bye now.